BKRsport. We are back here for week 1 of the NRL finals, and I am so excited for this. All the regular season is done. Now we can obviously start thinking about 2023 for the bottom 8 teams, but we get to this absolutely fiery final series that is truly really open. It is a really open final series in comparison to previous years. There's a reason why it took to 30 points to make the 8 this year. That is, last year it was only 22 points needed. This year, 4 extra wins were needed to make the 8, which shows that even the team in 8th has a good bit about them. You know, they've got something about them, the Raiders. I don't think they're going to win the comp, but dearie me, you know, they are still fiery and they are still very competitive, and anyone from 1 through 8 do genuinely have a chance. I don't think that we're going to be seeing the Raiders win, but I also could see any of the top 7 teams winning. I really could, which is quite absurd. A lot of the time, a lot of people, even including myself, think that there is genuinely a likely chance that one of those teams in the bottom 4 of the 8 could actually win this one over the likes of the Cowboys or over the likes of the Sharkies and even the Eels. But it's just so close and so tense. I'm super excited to see what we've got going on. But guys, obviously last week, dear mate, oh boy, oh no, I did only get 5 out of 8 tips, and I said that was 5 or less, we do a punishment that you guys put in the comment section. So this week we're doing, if I don't get at least 75%, so I have to get 3 out of the 4 games correct, otherwise we'll be coming back next week to do another one of these punishments. Now, these punishments will be done on a stream this week. Well, this punishment will be done on a stream this week, not today's video, on a stream this week. So you have to be watching the NRL finals. Maybe we'll probably do Friday night for the Panthers versus the Eels game. We'll do the punishment on that one. But yeah, you guys commented in the comment section, and all of these ones you can actually go back and see. All of these here were every single one that was commented. So it's time to do our punishment. It's time to live by our mistakes, baby. Live by our mistakes. Please be giving me a good one. Time at Dasmate would have been a fantastic one. I have to... Oh, well... Are you shitting me? Oh boy, I could say that now, but I'll do it on the, it's actually not that hard one. I had someone who had here who put that they were going to give him $100 or something like that, which I did put in there, by the way, Jesse Hampson. It was on this spinner. There was another one where it was do a Fortnite stream with some nonsense. Time at Dasmate would have been absolutely fantastic. Probably did that anyway, to be fair. That's not even a punishment. That's actually a great decision to make there. And there was another one like shave your head bald. So, dearie me, I actually got off quite lightly here. So this will not be able to be done next week, obviously, guys. But we will do this punishment on Friday night. We'll do it on Friday night there for the Panthers versus the Eels stream. So, guys, go down there into the comment section and put your punishment for next week if I don't get at least 75%. So anything less than 3, I'm escrotamundos. But let's get into the tips for this week. Alrighty guys, so first up here we do have the Penrith Panthers versus the Parramatta Eels in a double chance. Don't forget guys, first versus 4th and second versus 3rd means that whoever loses this game will be in next week's knockout, and whoever wins this game will be going through the preliminary final and getting the week off. If that's a good thing or bad thing, that's down to you and perception and perspective. Not all the time do you get a positive and a benefit from the week off, but this is going to be an absolutely outstanding game here. Absolutely outstanding game between the Penrith Panthers and the Parramatta Eels. In Penrith, obviously, they did come first and very easily came first as well, whilst the Eels, they beat the Storm in the final game of the season, which solidified their spot here. Do you think it was the better opportunity getting 4th, getting that double chance, but having to play the Panthers in Penrith? Or do you think it would have been better to just kind of play your way through and get to take on the Raiders in Parramatta, Combank? I don't know, that would have been, it might have been a pretty good shout there. But then again, you would have had to play a top 4 team in week 2 anyway. So, I don't know, there's positives and benefits to either side there. But we do see Parramatta obviously take on Penrith and Penrith, so they got the top 4. It is what it is. You know, this one's actually really tough to read. The Panthers this year are 0-2 against the Eels, and I know the Panthers were the ones who knocked out the Eels last year, which is something that you've got to remember though, because when it came to the crunch, the Panthers were able to beat the Eels, and it was 1-1 in the season last year. If I'm mistaken, please let me know, but I'm pretty certain I'm correct there. It was 1-1. Yeah, look, I really, or could have been 0-2 to the Eels again. They could have got that done again. I don't think so. I think it was 1-1. This is really tough. Panthers at home, I think they get Cleary back as well. They got a whole full team. Bullshit, by the way, with Taylor May. Just want to throw that out there to the NRL. Absolutely ridiculous. that Taylor May has copped a 2-game suspension, but doesn't have to have it this year. He can have his 2 games next year. Like, sorry? That's never worked like that. That's never ever been like that. Like, it doesn't make any sense. So my question comes to, what on earth is the NRL thinking, allowing a player to be suspended, but then not to be suspended in the finals? Every single year forever, you've always been suspended and immediately in whatever games come. So seems like a bit of preferential treatment to me there, NRL. How are you selling this? I don't understand how you could actually possibly sell this and people would be even slightly acceptable of this nonsense, but it is what it is. Panthers get a lot of players back, and Nathan Cleary is going to be rocking for finals here. Absolutely rocking for finals. He's had 5 weeks off of the suspension. They did get in this game against the Eels. Man, I don't know. The Eels, they're due a loss. They're due a loss. I said this last week against the Storm, and they got the job done there. They just simply were the better team. It was a good game, though. It was a very, very good game, though. I'm going to take the Panthers here, guys. I'm going to take the Panthers. I feel like that shows preferential treatment, by the way, preferential treatment by the NRL. So it does show to me that they probably would like to push along this, I guess, this topic of the Panthers being the most successful right now as a thing. I just don't think they go 0-3. If they do go 0-3, I still probably would tip the Panthers in the grand final against the Eels. I'm just not trustworthy of the Eels at all. I just don't back them in when it comes to the crunch. They could prove me wrong this year. I did tell you a couple of weeks back, I'm starting to believe the Eels a lot more now. I think they're a lot better team than maybe last year. I think they might have a bit more about them this year. However, they haven't done it in the finals again. They continuously show a lot in the regular season and then capitulate in the finals very quickly. Could they be 0-2? Could they go straight out? Could they go, what's it called? Anyway, could they go bang, bang, straight sets? That's the one, straight sets. Absolutely they could. Absolutely they could. There is a genuine opportunity they could go out in straight sets. I don't necessarily believe it happens, but for this week here, guys, I'm not talking about next week yet. This week, I'm going to take the Panthers. I trust them more. A fresh Nathan Cleary, a fresh team after they had all their players rested last week. The Eels had a bashing game against the Storm. The Panthers are going to be fresh, rested in Penrith. I'm taking the Panthers here. I'm taking the Panthers, but it's going to be an absolutely outstanding game. I think $1.37 is just offensive to the Eels. $3.10 odds to the Eels here is offensive. It offends me. I'm not even an Eels fan. Offends me. Value, I think the Eels are the value there. Why does it keep taking away my tip? Give the bloody tip to the Panthers. Jim Wiz, stop it! I'm taking away my tip. But there you go, guys. Taken is the Panthers. Alrighty, women's game. We'll go Titans and Broncos Dragons. I will take Dragons. Alrighty. Next game here is a straight up knockout Oronos. It is a knockout here, guys, in Amy Park, Melbourne, as the Storm take on the Canberra Raiders. Now, the Storm haven't been fantastic in recent weeks. They were really good at one stage and then just haven't really... I guess there's just something missing. There's just something missing about the Storm team this year. Could it be Puppy, the Puppy Man, the Mudder Man, Puppy in the fullback role? I don't know. But Jerome Hughes wasn't playing last week, to be completely honest with you. There's a lot of their attack that was missing against Parramatta. I think you give Storm Jerome Hughes there, and I feel like they actually could have probably stolen that game. But that's just completely nonsensical at this point. That's just assumptions. The Eels did win. The Storm, yeah, a bit all over the shop, but I think Jerome Hughes coming back will really help them to garner that attack. The Raiders, on the other hand, they've snuck into the 8. The Broncos capitulation. Do the Raiders deserve to be in the 8 over the Broncos comparatively this season? I don't know. Obviously, they're there. Are they that great? They killed the Tigers. Cool. They won out for the rest of the season. And considering the Broncos did fall off completely, the Raiders did sneak that spot. However, I do still have question marks about, you're not going to see a capitulation that badly nearly ever. That was a really bad ending season for the Broncos. Like, probably the worst I've ever seen in nearly any sport, capitulation-wise. But the Raiders did still get there, like I said. I still think in Melbourne it's going to be too hard for them. I just do. I think in Melbourne it's going to be too hard for them. Their defense has been a little bit better this year. The Raiders, I haven't minded them at all. I've been backing them in quite a bit towards this end part, thinking that they just have more, especially with their run home. They had an easy run home as well, mind you. They did have an easy run home, so it was beneficial for them. But now we're into the big dogs. This is the big dogs now. How many times have they actually beaten these good teams? I know they beat the Storm earlier on. That was a bit of a mockery game. That was the game that Little Mullet Man, Little Puppy, Little Mullet Man did unfortunately have his season-ending injury. The Raiders do have a little bit of a hoodoo over the Storm, a bit of a hoodoo. They are a good team against them, but I'm still going to take the Storm in Melbourne. I just don't see the Raiders having that next level ability to knock out a very good Storm team who are not going to want to be seen getting knocked out in the first week of finals. I just don't know about that. So Munster, Magic, Jerome Hughes, bloody, look at him go, Hottie Hughes. I don't know where that came from, but I tried to get something to do with his name, and there you go, Hottie Hughes. I don't know why it keeps taking my click off, but there you go. Take my click, take my tip, man. Just take the tip, man. Deary me. Deary me. I don't know why lately I've been saying G instead of the D when I say deary me. I go, deary me. It's like I called Daniel Janiel at the last bloody Titans game. I'm all over the shop, mate. He's all over the shop. It's been a long season, alright? It's been a long season. But alrighty, guys, let's move on now to the Cronulla Sharkies and the North Queensland Cowboys in a double chancer. Whoever loses this game will play the unless the Panthers win, they will play the highest ranked. The loser of this game will play the highest ranked winner of last week. Dear me, I don't know. I'm all at the shop. I can't really think who they'll play at the moment, but it'll be a tough game. Oh no, they'll get the high rank because the Eels will play the lower ranked. They'll play the lower ranked, so the Eels more than likely play the winner of the Roosters Rabbitohs game, unless the Raiders were a surprise against the Storm. But yeah, the Sharkies and Cowboys here. Sharks have been quite poor lately. I'm not going to lie to you. The Sharks haven't been at their best in recent weeks. It's been really confusing for me that they just have completely... they've won games. Don't get me wrong, they've won their games, but they play like the Bulldogs and the Knights, and I was not impressed with them at all. Obviously, I really want the Sharks to win for my mum this year, and I've been superbly disappointed. Saturday night at Shark Park, though, boy oh boy, that's always been a very hard game to win for any team. And especially the Cowboys, who are travelling to Sydney. They don't usually like travelling to Sydney. They've never been a travelling team, the Cowboys, but up there in North Queensland, they are a very, very solid team. I think more so actually at their old stadium, the 1300 Smile Stadium, rather than the new stadium. But in the same sense, Cowboys have been very good this year. There has been actually both these teams are very similar in a way. They've both had their highs in regards to people talking about them this year, but recently they haven't exactly kind of hit that nail on the head in regards to their games. The Cowboys obviously coming off a big win against the Panthers, but it was against the New South Wales Cup side Panthers, so there's nothing really to take there. Cowboys did look good, but in the same sense, most teams will be able to look good against the New South Wales Cup team, except the Panthers. Actually, the Panthers won with their New South Wales Cup team against the Tigers, so the Tigers don't look good against the New South Wales Cup team. I don't know about this game. I'm probably going to take the Sharkies here. I'm probably going to take the Sharkies at Shark Park. It'll be a close game. The Cowboys will be up for it. I just think at Shark Park on a Saturday night, cool, sold out. That's their only Shark Park home game in the finals for the season. They won't get a Shark Park final for the prelim. I think they'll go to Accor. Not Accor, sorry. I think they'll go to Allianz, where they played the Panthers about 5 years back. That's where they got their home final there. I think the Sharks will win this one in a close game, an exciting game. Wouldn't be surprised if the Cowboys did get up. Obviously, it's the finals, guys. It's not surprising, and the Cowboys still did come third. Still very good defensive side of the Cowboys, but the Sharks are a very good defensive side too. Nico Hines been having a very good year on the attack to partner that with the offense. Will the Cowboys have that experience in the finals? I don't even know if the Sharks do, but I'm pretty happy to lean with the Sharks in this one. And man, I'll go Sharks. There's a reason why $1.71 to $2.15. If it was in North Queensland, I reckon the odds would be the opposite way around. The Cowboys would be $1.71 and the Sharkies would be $2.15. So I'll take the Sharkies. Crazy for me to say they can probably be in the prelim. I really didn't expect this pre-season, but they are. If based on my predictions, I've got the Sharkies making the prelim to take on. I wouldn't even know. I wouldn't have the ability off the top of my head to do the maths to see who they would play there. But alrighty, guys, there we go. That's the Sharkies and the Cowboys. Alrighty, so the women's game. That's a good game actually. Knights and Roosters. I will take. I'm going to take the Roosters. I think that's a good game, but I think the Roosters might be able to get up there. They're a very good team, the Roosters in the women's game. Okay, final game of the round. We have the Sydney Chooksters and the South Sydney Rabbitohs doing a big battle game at... oh my God, it's annoying me! Big battle game between the two historically biggest rivals in the sport. Look, it's going to be absolutely mental. We saw them play last week, and it was a juicy affair. I know the Roosters came out on top of it, but it was a very juicy affair. The odds are probably realistic, to be completely honest with you. However, Joey Manu out for the Roosters is pretty huge. That's pretty huge. I'm actually filming this video before team lists come out, guys, so I'm kind of just assuming of who's playing and who's not playing. If there's a huge news, I'll maybe update on Instagram, but overall, I have to go with the tips that I put on this video for next week's punishments in case. Wow, who do I go with here? These two teams, I actually was listening to a podcast before on Instagram where someone was saying that Rabbitohs fans and Roosters fans should have been hoping for the other team to win last week, because these two teams do normally go, you know, you have a win, and then we'll have a win, and then you have a win, and then we'll have a win. They go back and forth. So the Roosters win that game on that kind of thought process. The Rabbitohs do win this game, and with that out for the Roosters, it could be a really good chance. Honestly, this game's going to come down to a field goal. It could even go past the extra time marker of the first 10 minutes. It could be a long game, this one. These two teams hate each other, and they're a long history of hating each other. It's going to be physical. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be very, very close. I'm going to go with the I'm going to go with the underdog here. I'm going to go Rabbitohs. Yep. And you guys are going to be like, Blaze, what? Since halfway through the season, you've been saying against everybody else that the Roosters are going to make the grand final. Yeah, when the Roosters halfway through the season, everyone was saying they're not going to make the top 8. Blaze, you're crazy for taking the Roosters to make the grand final, to be the dark horse. I've been saying for so long, I'm backing the Chookies. You know, I'm thinking they're good this year to make grand final appearance. I had them as the pre-season favourites. I put them as number 1 pre-season. I believe it could have been 2 behind the Storm. Either way, I had them a lot higher than where they obviously ended up coming. But I'm going to go with the underdog. I feel like the back and forth nature of this game, these two teams, I don't know. I think the Rabbitohs might be able to sneak it. Latrell Mitchell had a poor game in that last one. I don't think he has a poor game this week. I think he gets back to it and really gets physical. And I feel like there could be a Latrell Mitchell field goal coming up from about, 40 metres out. It could be a 2-point field goal, but it's only 4. Obviously, they'll be tied at the time. I just feel like a Latrell Mitchell special could be coming up here. I really do. And that loss of Joey Manu could really help them out in regards to the scoring on that side. And it could be a high-scoring game here. But I don't know. I just get that underdog feeling here. I guess I have gone with the favourite in every single game here so far. I have gone with the favourite. Oh, it's not letting me tip them, man. It's not letting me tip them, man. I have gone with the favourite so far with the Panthers, the Storm, the Sharkies. So I may as well go with the little underdog effect here with the Rabbitohs as well, because there will be a surprise this week. I'm sure of it. And if it's not that game, well, shit. Looks like we're back to on punishments again next week. But there we go, guys. Let's say, can we save it? Is you gonna let me save it? You're not gonna let me save it? Well, cool, man. Let's just pretend I didn't tip this week then. So, guys, that's my tips for this week. A couple of surprise, well, one's a big surprise there. I guess Panthers against the 0-2 might be a bit of a surprise, but not really. I'm excited, man. It's going to be an awesome week of footy, and we will be streaming every single rugby league game here this weekend, so definitely get keen for that. I'll do the punishment of saying Broncos. I love Broncos 20 times on Friday night. I think you've forgotten that there is more than one Broncos team in the world. You're mupping, man. You would think it's not, man. It's very easy to get around that one, but it is what it is, man. So I hope you guys have had a good time. Hit that thumbs up button if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new around here. Do let me know in the comment section your tips for this week. I'd love to hear about it. And also, don't forget to put your potential punishments in for next week if I don't get at least 75%. So I need to get 3 right this week. Can't have 2. I get 3 right this week. I think if anyone's going to be the wrong ones, it would be the Rabbitohs and maybe the Panthers. I don't think the Storm lose. Oh, it's actually hard because the Cowboys could still beat Sharkies there. I don't know. Be a good weekend. But guys, see you guys next time. Appreciate you. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. Peace out.